the program, we'll first talk on a very pertinent issue today, that is violence in hospitals and healthcare. The recent incidents of Dr. Archana Sharma committing a suicide in Rajasthan because of mental agony, lot of pressure from gundas, politicians, police, and everybody else. That has raised an eyebrow. That has become a platform where everybody has started thinking why this is happening and till how long it will keep on happening. In spite of doing all those activities, good work, good Samaritan work by all of us, still we are the focus. I mean, we don't find friends on the street. So here we are. I mean, we are going to start with the first part of now on this violence. The speaker is Dr. Sharad Agrawal. May I request Dr. Sharad Agrawal to come up on stage. Dr. Sharad Agrawal is the chairman of Hospital Board of India nowadays, past president of IMA UP, past national vice president of IMA, and a very respected person all over the country. He is, in fact, nowadays running a 200-bedded corporate hospital in Ghaziabad. May I request Dr. Sharad Agrawal to please come up on stage? And this session will be chaired by none other than Dr. Vinay Agrawal. I think he is known to everybody. He does not need much of an introduction. But our guide, our senior person, and in fact, nationally and internationally acclaimed doctor par excellence, a good administrator, a good team leader, in fact, and a person who has knowledge about almost every aspect of healthcare, from how to run a clinic, how to make a hospital, how to run an association. And now he is, uh, you know, into this violence part. I think he is one person who is so much attached to it that, I mean, he takes it on his head and mind that why should it happen. So without talking much about it, I'll request Dr. Sharad Agrawal to start his talk in the kind presence of Dr. Vinay Agrawal. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to all. So, as Munga sir has already set the tone that why the doctor-patient relationship is relevant to understand, to see, re-verbalize themselves that what is the doctor-patient relationship. We all know, we every time we say use this word doctor-patient relationship, but what is that? So I think like in the preaches, Babas, people goes in numbers to listen to Babas, and all the Baba they say the all the right thing which everybody knows. But the point is, it is again re-emphasizing the same thing repeatedly, re-verbalize that what is the doctor-patient relationship. And today's every day, I think everybody is come across some kind of violence, and to the extent it is more relevant in the recent past, the nationwide mishappening or the unfortunate event of the Dr. Archana Sharma. So it is more relevant to at least understand and what is the doctor-patient relationship, and what the expectation of the society, what we should do, and what we should know. The time has gone कि हम भगवान हैं. So we have to adopt the best practices happening around the world, nearby city, nearby clinic, nearby hospital, and sharing the best practices with each other. That is the, I think, only way to grow and to give the society. The phase has gone for the arrogance. Now there is no arrogance in the practice. So I'll try to present and in front of my guru, my philosopher, Dr. Vinay sir. Sir, आप संभाल लीजिएगा जहाँ कुछ गड़बड़ हो तो. So these kind of things every day we every city, every society, every locality we see all kind of these things. There is some kind of violence. A doctor, India is very penetrative and without thinking and without understanding they use chakara because बहुत ज्यादा बिक्री होती है उनकी. So doctor-patient relationship has been considered so the Hippocratic oath to the Geneva Declaration, the core essence remains the same. We know this was an survey by the company, and they tried to understand that was factor, and you can see the 91% doctors who are leaving, yes, but still, and you can see the politician 19%, media journalist 28%. You can see the point is जितना जोर से आप झूठ बोलेंगे वो ज्यादा अच्छे से समझा जाता है. And hardly care all these things. Everybody does some kind of charity every day. All see, we all do concession every day to one or two patients, but we never project all these things. We don't go into the media कि मैंने आज इतना कर दिया, and if you put it nationwide, it will be in millions. What doctors are doing charity, but we are not projecting all these things. And so all the last they just doctor को what we will और आपको limelight. So these it's a though it is a very complex relationship, it's very difficult to define, but these are the point where we can discuss that information gap, social status, ability, culture of ethics, patient expectations, conduct, and these kind of things you all are suffering. Patient know much about the disease and the side effect, even minor side effects which are very rare. Patient picks effect only and the doctor मेरे को ये भी हो जाएगा. Some of the side effects actually and they also don't know because they are so rare side effects. But patient comes to Google Baba to teach everything. So information gap is doctor-patient relationship is the knowledge doctor has different kind and what the knowledge they get is different kind. Information and knowledge defines it. The fear and uncertainty in the mind of the patients as the background. That is why for the small thing or even surgery or common surgery, patient calls up all the friends, all the relatives, all his or her known to medical people in the medical profession from to the doctor. They will ask boss मेरे को ये लैब कोरी कराना है कौन सा डॉक्टर सबसे बढ़िया है. So there is no point of सबसे बढ़िया. So that is why it is by Google. So they go and read out each and everything about their disease, and that is the gap. Then after meeting the doctor, the best of the doctor साहब ने तो मुझे बताया ही नहीं. यार ये जानते नहीं है, मुझे समय ज्यादा नहीं दिया इन्होंने, बहुत बिजी हैं. Social status, again, I mentioned that the time has gone, the doctors are bored, and because one of time that there is no economic stability, people are poor, so they thought can come पैसे में कर. But now it is so the gap in social status has closed rapidly. expanding educated middle classes, redefining the relationship across the spectrum in the society, whereby the transition is from an illiterate, uninformed patient to an informed patient to a mobbed patient now. So that is the biggest gap. And availability, all know that 593 medical college turning need 1 lakh doctors per year, and probably this number again goes on. So I know fear के इंजीनियरिंग जैसा हाल ना हो जाए या और जैसे इंस्टीट्यूट से हाल ना हो जाए. And it's a there is a very common syndrome में आप there was a time when a plain MBBS physician, and in a few cases family physician is a very good practitioner, but somehow because number of doctors are producing and the gap between the PG clinical seats and the graduate MBBS, so it leads to this other MBBS. So it's nowadays like no degree. Family physician concept ही धीरे-धीरे जो है vanish हो रहा है. So that is also patient डॉक्टर की क्या डिग्री है, आप किस में एमडी हो, वो कह रहा है भाई मैं एमबीबीएस हूँ, 25 year एक्सपीरियंस हूँ. And with due respect to all my seniors who 30-40 year back who have done the MBBS, I think the MBBS curriculum and the type of the professors faculty, they were far excellent than what we have nowadays, even in the postgraduate education. So there is a huge difference in the what we used to have 25 years back. Consumerist culture with economic has come the irreverence of have money. मेरे पास पैसा है, मैं जिसको चाहे वो दिखा सकता हूँ, एंड मैं पैसा दे रहा हूँ, आप मुझे सर्विस दे रहे हो, इसमें बड़ी चीज क्या है. एंड सीपीए तो वैसे ही हम लोगों को कंज्यूमर उसमें सर्विस प्रोवाइडर उसको पेशेंट को कंज्यूमर बना दिया है. सो नाउ द पेशेंट ही थिंक्स दैट आई एम ए कस्टमर and you are a service provider, you are a doctor, you are not doing any favor to me, I am paying you, you have to, it is your duty. So that trust factor is slowly is vanishing off. They think I am paying, he is doing, that is his job. And expectation without understanding the limitation of medical science leads to avoidable misunderstandings. Lot of platform for the online consultation, increasing your practice. And what is this is for the patient psyche, what we have discussed, what we are lacking as a doctor. It's a dilution of ethics. Ethics and etiquette define and delineate the medical profession, we all know. Unethical behavior and uncouth conduct are a source of challenge to the doctor-patient relationship. This is very serious thing, which is happening for last, I can say, 1 decade or so. It is deteriorating like anything. Medical practice should always be guided by maleficence, non-maleficence, beneficence, autonomy of the patient, respect and confidentiality, which is, I believe, is deteriorating. And then again, the fear of taking decision, and the patient, the huge gap that we have patient expectation. A patient is a person in distress. The patient likes to place himself or herself in a competent hands of the doctor with trust. So she approaches the doctor with expectation that the doctor will be friendly and patient enough to hear what the patient has to tell. So that is a big problem in a good number of OPD. It is not possible to give a, and there are the hospital healthcare where they have timeline the slots. The second slot of the doctor will be after 15 minutes. Yes, sir knows that we did in that organization. So the slot is only for 15 minutes, but this is only possible in some or few hospitals, but not in the practice. The who is sitting in a tier 3 town, doctor having a huge line. So we cannot expect that a 15-minute slot is relevant here. Doctor will fully guide him his element, give him the clear, precise, professional directions. Shall tell them truthfully whether doctor is professionally capable to take up his case or not. That is also very missing, because we should know when to say no. That is also missing. I am a doctor, I know everything. ठीक है यार, admit तो कर ले, मैं उसको बुला लूंगा. I'll call him यार, कोई बात नहीं, admit कर. So, and worst case, we are very daring. नहीं करेंगे. So I think that is more important in the practice, when to say no. We cannot handle and deal each and every kind of patient and each and every kind of element. That is very important, which is missing. The patient also rightfully expect that if the doctor takes up the case of the patient, he will give it necessary time, attention, care, and cure. Expected professional conduct. What should be the professional conduct of the doctor is the core of an ethical practice. For a good doctor-patient relationship to exist, the doctor is the main person who has to uphold and set very high standards of professional conduct. The profession demands high standard of conduct. Health and welfare of the patient is the primary consideration. Respect and dignity of the patient, honesty, empathy and compassion, confidentiality, support to the patient, not to drive undue mileage, and non-discrimination. Identity crisis, because in the metro city or A class city, now healthcare practice is driven by the healthcare setup rather than the OPD solo practitioner. So it again, and in the big hospital, you hardly have any identity, or hardly 10 or 15% of the clinician, they have the identity other than the team member. मैं एक का team member हूँ, I am in his team. So patient doesn't know that who is Dr. Sharad. He know that ये Dr. Sharad एक ही team का है. So everybody has the identity crisis, and that identity crisis, that the way the healthcare industry has overshadowed the face of the doctor with that of hospital brands, and that is again leading to these kind of things, over enthusiastic attempts. Is there a problem? Yes. Doctor patient relationship is on the ball. See, in IMA we had a survey of 12,200 members, and the crux is the only 34.8% members are happy with the profession. 57% suffer from the lack of sleep. Almost 83% are stressed out. 33% are on the treatment for BP, and 19% for the diabetes. 78% suffer from frequent anxiety. The main stressors are fear of violence, fear of being sued, and the fear of being criminally prosecuted. Violence against doctor. Nothing portrayed the deterioration in doctor-patient relationship than the widespread violence against doctor and hospital. Violence occurs irrespective of the sector. We in the government sector, deficiency in infrastructure and inadequacy human resource, but ultimately it goes on the doctor. दवाई नहीं है, डॉक्टर को मारो. नर्स नहीं है, डॉक्टर को मारो. In the private sector, high cost of service and resultant high expectation. I tell you one incident that I was in a hospital as a group medical director in Calcutta, and the then chief minister, what she announced is she did the town hall, open town hall on the official Doordarshan of the Bangla. And what she said in Bangla, clinicians तो बहुत अच्छे होते हैं, बट ये जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर होते हैं, जो हॉस्पिटल वाले होते हैं ना, ये बदमाश होते हैं. अगर पेशेंट वेंटिलेटर पे है तो क्लिनिशियन को कुछ नहीं मिलता, इनको जो है अंदर कर दो अगर कोई पैसे मांगे तो. So these kind of, when the top leaders, people follow them, when they use these kind of language, it absolutely breaches the trust between the patient and the doctor healthcare. Violence has in all grades against doctors in India, from outright murder, physical assaults, damage to personal and property, high decibel verbal abuse, even trolling on social media. ये तो बहुत ही हो गया. It's the easiest thing you can do. Social media को पूरा रंग डालिए. जो the people who are not connected with the accident, they also join. तो सबको होता है कि अंदर satisfaction अंदर से. Prosecution in the absence of the medical profession, case to. So that is what happened in the recent thing, understanding in under 302, and where it's a very clear cut Jacob Matthew case that even in for the professional negligency, it cannot book. They have to pay first. And then maximum they can book under 304A. So that is also the biggest thing. And we doctor usually come up, we don't share different. फोटो शेयर करते हैं, बाहर कहीं भी गए वहां का वो रेस्टोरेंट का भी हमने फोटो लिया और फटाफट शेयर करा. But when we are in the stress, someone is blackmailing us, मुझे 30 लाख दे दो, 20 लाख दे दो, we hardly share with the associations, and that is what probably unfortunate happened with the late Dr. Sharma. Probably she didn't discuss, and he was right enough after that 302 case, and the whole politician and the media reported her like any villain. Litigation, we all know, CPA, Honorable Supreme Court of India hold the exclusive distinction to have converted the patient into a, we have discussed. So everyone in this society, they have the set mindset. Yeah, doctors are badmash. Be it by and large, there will be some exceptions. By an administrator and media को तो सूट करता है. मीडिया वालों को वैसे we all treat some of the media, सबके पास आते हैं, but as an individual they are very good. नहीं डॉक्टर साहब, we understand, डॉक्टर साहब, we understand, but when the case comes तो वो भी शुरू है, क्या सर प्रेशर था, निकल पड़ता सर, उसका भी निकल रहा था तो हमें भी निकालना ही पड़ता थोड़ा, पर मैंने ना सर थोड़ा सा कम करके रखा है सर आपका, मैंने देखो सर नाम डाला इसमें, आपने सर वो वाली बात नहीं लिखी, बट थोड़ा तो नहीं पड़ता, प्रेशर था. Kind of thing happening, and which is again hitting the trust factor. Is the solution inside the profession? Doctor-patient relationship is the axis on which the entire gamut of health and related services revolve. For too long we have allowed external force to shape the ambience of the profession. So the time has come to redeem the initiative in our own hands. It requires considerable effort to stop and reverse the downside. It is doable. The image of the profession has taken a beating because of and bluntly unethical behavior by a sector of doctors. The foremost among them are the scan commission and the referral commission, respectively. We all know. This needs to be with, as it is a useless fair name and credit of the pure and pious profession. This is the biggest thing in last 10 or 20 years, which has, dented the image of the profession. I don't know, because openly everybody says, nahi yaar, ये गलत है. But how many practices? This is the question. Unless until we all are one and say no, there will not any dichotomy, no referral. But it is a rat race. I have been a specialized, and I want to become like him, who is 30 years or 20 years in the same profession. But I want to be there where he is, and by hook and crook. And that is why the new one who is coming, he or she uses all these kind of. And even if they don't use, people come. There is a huge team of marketing team in the hospital now. So individual also hiring these consultant, marketing consultant. Believe me, I think hardly it is again Marachika like that a marketing team bring the patient. Marketing team is nothing but to only send your message to the society or the physician. Yes, you are Dr. and qualification. This is my experience. But I don't think and I don't believe that the marketing team can establish any doctor. It is your skill, your behavior, your availability, how you handle the patient. And the word of mouth publicity is the best publicity in our profession. Because there is nobody, no patient, poor or the rich, they want to go a doctor whose reputation is not good. So it is only how you do it, how you are skilled, and you have to set that what is my target. If my target is that I want to become a doctor who is 20 senior to me in the practice, then these all things must come. Including ethics in the medical account. This is the talk which the NMC has also, they are discussing that ethics, etiquette, and the communication skills are the faculty of arts. And traditionally, these have been handed over from Banjangar by non-formal methods. आप सभी आते हैं, जूनियर को बताते हैं, but there is a chapter on ethics, etiquette, but I don't think how many colleges and how many students and what are the faculty who focus in the second year who focus on these things. Hardly, I don't think, because they are the chapter just to cram. तो इसमें से एक क्वेश्चन आएगा. But what is the essence of these things? Hardly anybody teaches during our undergraduate. So role model in the medical teaching should be taught there. Incorporation of EdCom, as I said, module in the undergraduate medical education curriculum is an important orienting modality. The same need to be inbuilt in the postgraduate and super specialty medical education as well. Raising awareness in a democracy, there is no alternative to dialogue. Communication is very important. Dialogue with sections of the society, starting from the political class to common people, is the only opinion, is the only option. Listening with the government and the representative of the people is a part of this dialogue. Because as I mentioned, we hardly say to any press that what charity we used to do today, because we don't understand. We don't understand the magnitude of the collective charity which we are doing. And we hardly project it. And even in the tried in IMA, definitely efforts have to be more to that direction. Core issue for development of modern medicine, expectation and limitations, we have to still the expectation and the limitation of medical science. See, we are the doctors, we are not insurer. We don't claim कि ये हमने आपसे पैसा लिया है तो ये बिल्कुल सही हो जाएगा. So that has to be communicated to the society repeatedly, continuously. Violence and doctor have to discuss the politician. Whenever we have the opportunity to meet the politician, we should discuss why there is a central law for the doctor, like they have done for the pandemic. In the COVID, they have made this central law. If they can make, they understand the situation is the same. Situation is not different. Pandemic में डॉक्टर की वैल्यू ज्यादा है, उसे नहीं मारना चाहिए, बट विदाउट पेंडेमिक तो ऐसा तो नहीं है. If they think yes, the assault violence is wrong in doctor, then it should be in a general law, not in the extraordinary situation. Perfection, individual doctor should be ethical conduct, etiquette, professionalism, communication skill. What can IMA do? IMA can also, do all these things at local branch, at the state branch, headquarter. So these things can be organized. As IMA has the very good structure, and we have more than 4.5 lakh members. So that can be done. Leadership in health is slowly and drifting to the